7 years. It's all you can ever count on as an organization from a star player. You draft him in the first round, most likely he's a lottery pick. He blows up, he becomes the face of your franchise. And then before the start of his 4th year on rookie scale, he agrees to the max extension. And of course he agrees to it, because no one has ever turned down the max extension on a rookie scale deal. If he's risk averse, he'll take the full 5 years you offer. If he's a bit savvier though, he'll bet on himself with a 3+1 deal so he can opt out and jump back into free agency. Either way, you have that minimum of 7 years of guaranteed time to show your star player that you are an organization that is both serious about and capable of winning a championship. Any time above and beyond that is cream cheese. Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, they all gave their franchises at least 7 years to get their acts together. See, drafting a superstar is not the be-all, end-all. Rather, it's the start of a long journey of decisions, which ultimately either land you a long, fruitful relationship, see Steph Curry and the Warriors, or a parting of ways. Further roster enhancements, picking and sticking with the right playbook, making further correct draft picks. These decisions all matter. So if you're screwing around with instability in your front office, Cleveland, or a revolving door of coaches, Sacramento, or a history of mistreating your players, New York, you're in essence writing the death certificate to your relationship with your star. Even as you feel like you're treating him as well as possible, what more could he ask for? And yes, there are mechanisms within the CBA designed to give the home team added leverage, money. The truth is, bearing a substantial amount of cash overage, players in their primes will choose what's best for their careers, as they should. Which brings us to young Gordon Hayward, formerly of the Utah Jazz. Drafted in 2010, the Jazz have seen him flourish from dorky computer science geek to handsome jock, from country bumpkin to man about town, from a kid people often confuse with Lazar Hayward, no relation, to the #1 free agent on the market. Could Utah have done anything differently? They put together a solid roster with a nice mix of vets and young guys that was well coached, and it was a rather complete team, and one of the best defensive teams in the NBA over the last few years. In a perfect world, they were well on their way to competing for a title. But we don't live in a perfect world, guys. And even as the Jazz did most everything right, they couldn't control for the massive imbalance between West and East. They couldn't control for Hayward's college coach to be leading one of the strongest East teams, and they certainly couldn't control for the rise of the greatest team in NBA history to dominate from within their conference. That's not to say they didn't make mistakes along the way. Not trading for Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson in contract years comes to mind. But it's to point out there are a lot of factors led to us to this, much like a lot of factors had to fall in line for Durant to leave his team a year earlier to the day. If you're a team or a fan of the team, you have 7 years from draft day to D-Day to get it right. Anything after that, you better be prepared for a life after losing them. For Utah's troubles, Hayward delivered the news in the worst way possible yesterday, contradicting a leaked report by Chris Haynes, giving folks 5 hours of false hope before confirming that he was in fact leaving. Guys, how bad did he mess this up?
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
Like, when Chris Haynes reports this, and by the way, like, Chris Haynes was right. Like, I don't care what anybody says afterwards. That letter was written. His decision was made. He knew what he was going to do. I mean, my understanding is that it was going to come out in 20 minutes afterwards anyway, which is, so when that comes out, when that report, just own it, back it up. Don't, just because you didn't get to call Utah and you had a failure in process and a breakdown in your own communications team. By the way, it wasn't just Chris who reported. Chris broke it, and then 4 other reporters confirmed it. So this is not just like one person who leaked it. This is everybody who knew what was going on. Just own it, because what happened, Amin, is the 5-hour delay where they were saving face and making everyone feel better, it cost them Otto Porter. It cost them valuable hours that they could have been trying to move on and move forward, and then gave them false hope, and it just made it all that much more worse.
It cost them more than just a couple 100,000 clicks on the Players Tribune website. Like, that to me was the one thing that they clearly lost that day. But what did he do wrong in terms of the Utah Jazz fan base? I'm not so sure he did anything like that. You know, Dennis Lindsey comes out and says that at some point there would be some adjectives I would ascribe to what went down. That's Dennis Lindsey making himself look better than Dan Gilbert, than LeBron did on the way out the door. But Gordon Hayward said all the right things in his letter that was published.
Thank you, Utah.
Yeah, it was just came out too late.
I felt like Dennis Lindsey's comments were not about Gordon Hayward leaving us.
That's
it was about, dude, just like you said, just own it and let us move on. Let us get on to other things. Shout out to Chris Haynes, though. He did have the tweet of the weekend.
Oh, my God.
The Hulk Hogan. That was a mic drop moment there. But it is interesting to see people react so violently, right, to the idea of Gordon Hayward leaving them high and dry. You know, you're wondering if Jazz fans have a right to be mad at Hayward. Well, here we pulled something from the archives when he got drafted in 2010. Take a look.
Gordon Hayward from Butler University.
Look at this. And not only did they boo him on that day, but when he became a rookie free agent off his rookie scale, he could have gotten the max. They did not offer. They said, hey, go out and get an offer and we'll match. And what ended up happening with the Charlotte Hornets, remember the Cavaliers actually were very interested, Dave.
Absolutely.
But the Hornets were the ones that gave him the offer sheet, a 3+1, and that's why we're here today, where he is able to choose where he wants to play without fear of reprisal.
Yeah, and I understand there's people in Utah who are probably hurt because from what I'm told, Gordon told them, I want to play with a pass-first point guard. I'd love to play with Ricky Rubio. Go out and get him. Well, they did. Right. And Joe Ingles is my best friend. Well, they kept him. Right. So they did the two things that Gordon told them were important to him, and they felt like they had a really good chance of keeping him because of that. But you know what? I think you know your player. And dealing with it, I think the Jazz should have had an inkling, should have known, should have had a feeling. I mean, I think when you go back and talk to Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder, they really thought they were going to keep Kevin Durant too. But the last few days, the way people act, the way things go, you get a feeling. And I think the Jazz, they understood. They understood where they were and what he was thinking about.